A federal appeals court ruled that the SEC must reconsider its ruling on a popular Bitcoin trust. Now, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust was supposed to be a game changer for crypto, giving less crypto-savvy investors easy access to the space via an ETF that more or less tracked the price of Bitcoin. But the problem is that the ETF wasn't an ETF at all in the eyes of the SEC. It denied investment firm Grayscale the permission to convert that trust into an ETF, and things have been hanging in limbo ever since until the ruling yesterday. Now, the ruling didn't explicitly give Grayscale permission to make the switch into an ETF, but it did at least tell the SEC that it was wrong to deny it in the first place. Even still, pretty much anything related to the crypto space, from Bitcoin to Coinbase's stock, spiked yesterday in reaction to the news. Neal, could this bring crypto back to life a little bit?
I don't know. This reminded me of a basketball team that is down 20, right? You're at home, but you're down 20. Everyone's kind of down. And then you go on this 15-0 run, and the other team calls a timeout, and everyone's hype. And because
you're still losing.
You're still losing. Okay, you're still losing, but there is some life
hope
in you.
Yeah.
There is some hope because over the past few years, we've seen SEC Chair Gary Gensler wage this war on crypto. There have been so many lawsuits, so much action, so many crackdowns, so many exchanges going belly up. And the crypto industry was like, this guy is trying to run us out of town. He doesn't want a crypto industry in the U.S. And then finally, they get this big win that gives them a little hope. And so I think they want to use this and say, look, the SEC can crack down all it wants, but the courts will finally decide. And the SEC needs to provide some sort of justification for why they want to squash us out of existence. So expect other crypto industry companies and individuals to kind of take action and learn from this experience that, like, you can go after the SEC and maybe win some cases.
Yeah, and so just to paint a broad picture here, like, why do people want a Bitcoin ETF so badly? Because a lot of people say, like, well, I can just go buy Bitcoin. But for others, people want exposure to Bitcoin, but they want kind of the added protections you get from an ETF wrapper. So you don't have to deal with crypto exchanges. You don't have to deal with actually owning Bitcoin yourself. You simply buy a fund that holds quote unquote shares of Bitcoin instead of, for instance, like Apple or Google. Like, it's the same principle. And so people just want to enter it via the traditional finance system with a couple added protection layers. That's why this is so bullish. And honestly, financial institutions are lining up to create these Bitcoin ETFs. You got Fidelity, BlackRock, WisdomTree, VanEck, Invesco, and others all have put in filings with the SEC to have a Bitcoin ETF. So you can see why this could create a domino effect. If Grayscale gets them through, then suddenly there's tons of Bitcoin ETFs out there. And like when BlackRock filed for a Bitcoin ETF in June, that was like the last time Bitcoin had a big spike because people were like, well, BlackRock's
these are like huge. The biggest ETF companies in the world.
It's so interesting to me, like how, I guess on the company side, they know that this can attract like a bunch of new inflows. It's a very buzzy thing. So I can see why they are pushing for it, but it is interesting to see the who's of traditional finance trying to get in on the Bitcoin ETF game.
And before we go, we should just clarify that there exists Bitcoin futures ETFs, but this would be a Bitcoin spot ETF, which tracks the real-time price of Bitcoin, whereas the other ones in existence track Bitcoin futures, and the SEC thought that a spot Bitcoin ETF, I know this is a lot of jargon, but an ETF that tracks the current price of Bitcoin would open up individual investors to a lot more risk, but they lost that case.
Hey, thanks for watching. And if you want more Morning Brew Daily, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And also check out the rest of our episodes wherever you get your podcasts.
New episodes drop at 7 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, and you can email us at morningbrewdaily@morningbrew.com.